Hi everyone, hope you're well. It's review time. I'm going to be reviewing on this video all the banished and murdered players from Series 4 of the UK Traitors so far. So the current players left in the competition, Traitors and the Faithfuls left over, I will not be commenting on them. I'm going to be starting off with Netty and then getting on to ending with Ellie, who's just been banished in episode 9. So without further ado, we'll do about 30 seconds every candidate who's gone, who's been murdered or banished. So start with Netty. Unfortunately, Netty has the acclaim, in my view, of the worst Faithful that's ever played the game. Her game was over the second she stepped out of the car, when she had her hands all over Ross, in a friendly way, obviously. God knows what Ellie was thinking at the time. Her boy, you can see her there, her boyfriend with another woman. Once they knew each other, it was completely innocent, but people don't want to be against a team, and they deem them a team. That's why she was murdered, and worst Faithful ever, 0 out of 10, unfortunately. That's my view. Moving on to Judy. Judy was very, very unlucky. Again, another lovely lady, it seemed. She obviously Roxy's mum adopted her. Great woman. She made the Linda error of looking at Claudia when she said traitors, but it seems like she would have got away with it. She made the huge error of then being honest and telling people, including Hugo, who was a traitor. And he thought at this point she might have actually been the secret traitor. Obviously, at this time, viewers, we didn't know that either. So Judy, lovely lady, very unlucky, but she shouldn't have told people the truth in that instance. 2 out of 10. So Ben. Ben is in the infamous library scene where there were a couple of traitors in there. We didn't get to know him too well, only in it for 2 or 3 episodes. He thought Ross was the traitor, and he voiced that, and he said, if I'm gone, it's Ross. That gave the traitors a clear target then, as a Faithful, to target him. With Fiona and Stephen in the room, Fiona gave them the names. Stephen implemented that with Rachel and Hugo. A bit unlucky, but he should have voiced that to fewer people. So 3 out of 10 for Ben. Moving on to Hugo. I've given Netty the acclaim of worst Faithful ever. Hugo is definitely the worst traitor ever in the history of the UK Traitors. He's gone the earliest. He was just... Why he gave this speech was just beyond me. It's just the most ridiculous speech, completely needless. Rachel says it here in a second. What was he thinking? I mean, what was he doing? It was just pointless, dumb. He was completely fine at this stage, but gone. Let me move on to Ross. Ross was, I think, so Ben. No, sorry, Hugo, 1 out of 10. Even 1. Ross, sorry, delayed Ross. Ross is one of probably the unluckiest player ever in this game. Set up by the traitors, and Netty hugging him at the start just ruined his game. I think he was just a dead man walking through no fault of his own, unfortunately. So I'll give Ross a 4 out of 10 purely because he was just unlucky. But he didn't deal with it well, but he was very, very unfortunate with the hand he was dealt. Maz. Didn't get to know Maz that well. He survived a few episodes, but Fiona was clearly onto him from the start. God knows why. I don't know what he'd done to her. We didn't know Fiona was the secret traitor at the start. Maz didn't do much wrong. He was by the picture at the end, but that didn't really implicate him. He got murdered. He didn't get banished. I'd give Maz a 5 out of 10. Didn't do much wrong. The traitors just wanted to get rid of him, particularly Fiona, for whatever reason. So I don't know. Amanda was doing fine until this key point at the round table where she completely misremembered a situation with Sam. As you can see, Sam here saying that she lied, and she's like, who else was there? Who else was there? Implicated her. She obviously lost that tied vote with Reese at the banishment, but she was doing all right up to this point, and then she just failed. I'll give her a 5 out of 10 at a push, maybe a 4. Disastrous round table, unfortunately. Disastrous, and that's that. We move on to Reese. Reese is another one like Maz. The traitors just had it in for him. Again, didn't do too much wrong. When you're murdered in this game, what can you do, sort of thing. I give Reese a 5 out of 10. He seemed like a decent guy, but not too much to say. I don't really know what more he could have done, to be honest with you. He was always going to die, unfortunately for him. Then we move on to arguably the main woman of the show, is Fiona, who was doing great to start off with, and then when Rachel revealed what Amanda had told her, she just absolutely lost the plot. And she took it too personally, going on about how her family were coppers. Amanda would have told her. Everyone said, she is a great woman, she was entertaining, but as a traitor, she was awful. I'd give Fiona a 3 out of 10. I mean, entertainment value, 10 out of 10. This is an iconic scene we're watching, but as a traitor, she was awful. Another very entertaining player as a Faithful was Harriet. entertainment. That scene in the confessional in the church, 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. But executing her plan the next day, she was awful. I mean, she was extremely rude to Roxy at the breakfast meeting. And at the round table, her arguments, the way it was shown, just came across as very, very weak. And Rachel was survived, and no one was looking at Rachel, so she ultimately failed in her tasks. So I give Harriet a 3 out of 10, unfortunately. Um, they're better. Adam got quite far in the contest, but I don't really feel like, as viewers, we got to know Adam. Again, a murdered player who didn't do too much wrong. There wasn't any real suspicion on him, and that's why he got murdered. They were lucky that Adam didn't have a shield in that 1 out of 3 chance. I think it was James and Jesse had the shields, but I'd give him a 5 out of 10. Didn't do too much wrong, didn't do too much right from what we could see, but didn't really get to know him because he only got quite far. We didn't really get to know him, I'd say, unfortunately. But it seemed like a decent guy. Sam was, after getting the Judy prediction wrong right at the start of the series, he's always been on everyone's lips. Again, didn't do too much wrong. People just had it in for him, unfortunately. He tricked them all here at the end, making out he was a traitor, and obviously said he was a faithful. Seemed like a decent guy. He got quiet after the Judy incorrect prediction, but 5 out of 10. Ultimately, he got banished because he couldn't justify himself to the team, and he was obviously eliminated because of it. Then comes the star of the series to many, is Jesse. Jesse would get highest ranking of everyone for me at 7 out of 10. Great player, great entertainment value. That bollocks comment when she was by herself was cracking. And yeah, I was gutted she was murdered for pure entertainment value, and I think she would have got Stephen. This is when she was onto Stephen here. Ultimately, she got killed because she was onto Stephen, and Stephen rightly took her out. It was a risk, but it was the right decision. But the best player of the Faithfuls. Ellie got far. No one knew about her connection with Ross, so she hid that well. But I'd give Ellie a 6 out of 10. She didn't do too much wrong. People just didn't believe her. She unfortunately got the most bland because she was keeping secrets about her relationship and being a psychologist. But yeah, Ellie was a decent player. I don't know if we'll remember her in future series, but yeah, decent person. And yeah, those are my reviews for the, what is it, 14 banished and murdered players. Do you think I was too harsh on Netty and Hugo? Do you think I was too generous to Jesse? What do you think? Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video.